Hello and welcome to Lighthouse Stamping with Lorraine. I hope you're having a great day. Before we get started with the project today, I want to talk to you about Perfect Partners. This is a set of 6 new dies that are available. They're available till September 30th or while supplies last. And they go with stamp sets that are currently in the annual or mini catalog that did not have dies before. And bundle pricing is available. So I'm going to tell you the stamp set and the page and which catalog they're in so you have that information. It is the Apple Harvest stamp set, page 54 out of the mini catalog. Fresh Cut Flower stamp set, page 65 out of the annual catalog. This Birthday Piggy stamp set, page 55, the annual catalog. Trimming the Tree stamp set, page 43, annual catalog. Waterfall Canyon stamp set, page 94 of the annual catalog, and the Yeti to the Party stamp set, page 38 of the mini catalog. So these are while supplies last, so if you want to get the whole bundle at 10% off, you can. If you already bought the stamps and you want the dies, you can just get the dies. So visit my online store for more information. The link is below. Also below is my link to my email address and all of the product and a description and measurements of everything we're going to be making today. So on with the show. Let me show you what the product we're going to be using, and then I'll show you what we're going to be making. This, I'm going to try to hold this up. This is a massive pad of paper. It is called Celebrating You. You cannot buy this, but you can earn it. You can get this as a host gift if you have a party over $150, or if you spend over $150, you qualify for a host gift. This is a massive pack of paper. It can be found, there is another pack in the annual catalog, but this is in the mini catalog. It's page 87 of the mini catalog. There's 48 sheets, there's 4 of each. I'm going to just thumb through here really quick. I don't have 4 of each because I've been using some of it. It's even thicker than this. But I'm just going to just pop this open real quick. So we have, just thumb through here. So we've got some, we'll just get a brief look of what we've got here. And it's very heavy duty DSP, which I love. It's good construction. Look at the pumpkins and ghosts, geometric shapes, fall, 4th of July, New Year's, lots of fireworks. Fireworks go all the time. Stripes, geometrics, like I said, it just, and polka dots. Love polka dots. So anyhow, it is a massive set. It's called Celebrate You. So if you have a large party, now you can get this as your free hostess gift. So with that being said, we'll set this aside and I will show you what we're going to be making. And I left it across the room, so let me grab it. Takes me a moment. It's not a very big room. We are going to be making a bag. Now I know about 2 weeks ago we made a bag, and the bag was for a specific purpose I had for it. Well, when I got the bag and I got the product, what I was putting in the bag, discovered that it was the wrong size. So I went back to the drawing board to redesign the bag because I needed one that was shorter and fatter, and you know how things go. So this is my new style bag. It's quite a bit wider, about probably almost 2 inches wider than the other bag, and about 2.5 inches, 3 inches shorter. So this is a reinforced bottom bag, and I'll show you how to do that. Can you see the paper at the bottom? As I've said in the past, I use retired product a lot to do my mock-ups and stuff, and for my own personal use. I'm a paper hoarder like everybody else, and I have certain pads of paper I really love, and I use it. So since I love the penguins, I did another one, because the fact is I am going to need about 25 of these bags. So making a few extra for the show is not very difficult, since I do need these and I need a lot more. So No, you will not see a second video on this bag. And just because I love the paper, and celebration is over now, unfortunately, I made one out of the Wonderful World paper. So you use whatever you have in your paper stash. This is the old olive and Pretty Peacock ribbon. Yeah, I wish Pretty Peacock's the color I wish they'd bring back, along with Misty Moonlight and Seaside Spray. It's on my dream list. So that's what we're going to be making. So let me get my board here today. And this is the paper I chose to use. Ornaments or baubles, whichever you prefer to call them. All the rest of the kids in our house call them ornaments. Mom calls them baubles, so it's sort of a mix. So anyhow, this is a full sheet of 12 by 12. If it's directional, and this is definitely directional, you want to make sure you're going in this orientation. And we are going to score at, let me look at my numbers, 6.5 and 11.5. And I just dawned on me, I forgot to bring my ruler in here. Oh, I have it. I just have to reach for it. You don't have to use a ruler. I like to use a ruler. At the 6-inch mark, I'm going to place my ruler about 6 inches here. And at the 9-inch, I'm going to come down to that point. Now, in the last bag, we drew lines hooking this up. This bag, we are not. We're just putting that one single line in. Then you're going to turn it so that you are facing your little short pieces right here. This is the little half inches left over there. And you're going to score at 9 inches. And then you're going to flip your paper over and score at 1 3/4. You'll have to forgive me. It's really early. It's like 6:15 in the morning. I'm trying to get done before it gets too hot today, which it's already about 80. I know you've heard me say it gets hot here. It's really just muggy today too. Anyhow, we're going to score this again. This first one is at 6.5, 11.5. Make a quick little score line at 9. Flip it around one time. Score at 9 all the way. And then flip it straight over and score at 1 3/4. And we'll set that off to the side. Grab my bone folder. And we're going to burnish. Oh, no, we're going to start with the small one here at the top first. Remember, we scored that the opposite direction, and we're folding that one the opposite direction. And then we're going to fold each of these in and burnish them well. Except we're going to leave that little one alone. Don't need to do anything with it. And then of course the bottom. This is the type of bag you have to work both pieces simultaneously because they need to be at the same stage. Okay, all folded up. So we've got a few things to cut away, not much. So on this long piece here, the bottom, we're going to trim up the little teeny rectangle at the end here and just wedge it off slightly. And the top, we're going to make a little wedge as well, so our bag hooks together well. And straight down the score line, we're cutting it. And then the other cut line we need to make is right here at the bottom. right there. I'll do that to the other one real quick. Like I said, there's not much cutting on it. Open that back up here. I left it folded. Like so. Like I said, that's the waste. It's not much. If you guys all notice, my chair's quiet. We figured out the problem and my chair has been fixed. It doesn't squeak very much now. Occasionally, but it's much quieter. And I am so sorry about that. Took us a while to figure out what was wrong with it. We had to take the cylinder apart. But anyhow, now we need some tear and tape. We're going to go ahead and put tear and tape down on this. And since we got it out and this piece going, we'll just put it here too. Oop. You want to go close to the score line, but not over the score line. Whoa. Hang on. Got a little tape mess here. It's stuck to me. Like I said, it's extremely humid here today. And things are... Some things, glues and stuff, are not really behaving themselves. They're getting a little tacky here. Or this one could be. I think I'm going to run out at some point. I don't know if it'll be today, but soon. Surprising how long one of these lasts. Okay, so we got the tape on there. And take your pick tool, whichever your tool of choice is. I know I don't use this one very often, and I'm sorry about that. I find that other one a little easier in my hand. And so use what works for you. I mean, lots of you have all different kinds of picking tools and stuff. So use the one that fits. Love that thing when it comes to picking up little things though, or cleaning off something stuck to a mat, or cleaning out my dies. Okay, so we have two pieces identical, cut down here, tabs there. So we're gonna hook the two tabs like this. This just goes together just like the other bag did. It's just a different size and it looks a little different. So turn the paper, as I've said, always turn your paper, your machines, whatever you need to make you be comfortable and get everything lined up the way you want it. I'm not pressing down. I'm just hovering. So I'm right on the edge there I want to be. But yeah, like I said, always turn your machines. I've seen people actually score from this direction on the scoreboard. It doesn't matter. It's what you're comfortable with and what works for you. Make sure your limbs are out. Limbs. The paper tabs. We'll call them limbs. They're legs right now. And this should come over right almost perfect, but sometimes it needs a little encouragement. So that's our box. There is no right front or back to this thing. She got seams on both sides. So we are going to flip it over. And as you can see, there's a gap here because I needed it for the width. That's how you can gain width and size when you're making something, is you deplete the bottom and then, just make sure you have enough to cover it, or put a fake bottom into it. And I'll show you, I've had the projects that may have that. Anyhow, get some glue out here. So I put glue all over this one. And glue all over this one. And the reason I'm using glue, and I've told this before, glue naturally strengthens paper when it dries. Tape does not. And since I need a reinforced box, glue works the best. Now, you notice it's not sticking to the paper. Just make sure your sides are even here. Don't worry about this yet, because it will all come together in just a second. Making sure your sides are even are more important. Now we're gonna put glue on here, because I know there's some glue, but I want to make sure that this edge that's going to close this whole thing is sealed. And I don't go over this center section here. Just a little more glue. So make sure that this is nice and square. That's what you want. Now, if you flip it over, your whole arm will go in. At this point, if you were not reinforcing the box, you could just drop some blocks in or something and let it sit for a half hour or so, and it would be perfectly fine. Because I did use quite a bit of glue. I do need mine reinforced. I can't say what it is. When the item came that I needed to go into these bags, I didn't think it was going to be as heavy as it was or as wide as it was. And so the previous bag was not reinforced and it wasn't wide enough. I put one of these into one of the bags I previously made, and it does have to be reinforced, because if someone picked it up with the handles within probably a minute or two, the bottom was going to fall out because the item weighs maybe 5 pounds. So if you're going with some dainties or some, little stuff, if you're putting a heavy bottle of perfume or heavy candles in here or something, because it holds a lot, think about putting this piece in. If not, leave it like this and move on to the next step. I find the easiest way to reinforce the bottom is with a piece of cardstock. If you really needed the bag reinforced, you could put a piece of chipboard, like the back of the specialty paper is really great. Even the back of just our DSP is good because it's stronger than the cardstock, but the chipboard really works well. And then cover it with a piece of cardstock. I'm just doing cardstock. So I've cut a piece of cardstock that is 6.5 by 5, which is the dimensions of the bag, which I didn't tell you. I should have. It's 6.5 inches wide, 5 inches deep, and 7 1/4 high. So it's a nice size bag. You can get a lot into this. So I find the easiest way to do this. Some people would say, oh, you just put the glue all and you got to get it in there, and it's, you're going to get glue everywhere doing that. Take your glue. You don't even have to go all the way in the bottom. Just take, and I know my head's in the way, I'm sorry. But I have to be able to see what I'm doing. And just make sure you, I did get the wall, darn it. I'll show you what to do with that. Just reach in. And I'll just put a little powder on that later, and no one will know that the wall got hit with some glue. But putting the glue in this way, you don't get glue usually all over. I rarely hit the wall when I do this. Make sure you get the corners. And take your piece of paper, whichever direction, if it's, I wouldn't think it's directional, but if it was. Then you're gonna put this in the bottom. Also makes the bottom look, a little glue there, but that's okay. Like I said, take your embossing buddy, rub over it, and then just wipe it out. I have a little bottle of, I think the bottle's a Gold Bond bottle of stuff, but I don't think it's Gold Bond in it. I think it's some cheap stuff I put in it. Just a little one of those little travel bottles I keep in my little craft bag, so that I get glue off my fingers if need to, get it off my project so things aren't tacky, and it works really quite well. But anyhow, that's this. So you could do the closure several ways on this. But if you pinch this, you can see this comes in much further than the other box because of the width. Give this a good little push. And you can, sometimes it needs a little finger to it. But you see what this does? It creates this slope in here. It allows this thing to have this really, sometimes, mine's not going to make any difference because my bag, whatever I'm putting in this is going to be really full like that. But Yeah, it's really nice. So you could just wrap ribbon around this, which would be really quite cute. But I need the space, so we're going to go with a handle. This one I ended up measuring to make sure I got the right dimensions on that handle. And I've been cleaning the glue off as I've been talking because I got a little too much glue on my fingers. So grab a pencil. I use a pencil, not a pen, because pencils erase. I know some pens do, but I don't trust pens. Sorry. So about a half inch or inch and a half in, and inch and a half on. There's 5 inches. Flip it over on the other side. Like I said, this is not a complicated bag. When I was whipping out those others, I did a few, and I will show you one more I made. It actually is out of this, not this paper, it's a different paper out of this set. Just push your, whatever. This is a very old pull punch. I don't even know how long we've had this or where it came from. It's ancient. But just push your hole in, punch in where you want it. Make some imaginary line. Mine's as far as this will go. Then I know it'll be even. And I know there's little marks there, but we'll just bring our eraser in and erase those. But it's just to tell me where I need things. You just grab your eraser. I know someone asked what these were called. These are called Mr. Pen Premium Erasers. Mr. Pen Premium Erasers. I believe my friend got them on Amazon. And I think there was like 12 or 24 in a pack. They were not that expensive. And like I said, she gave me a whole handful, and they are amazing erasers. They don't damage your paper. They erase good. They don't discolor. Sometimes I love a sand eraser, but sometimes a sand eraser is too harsh, especially on DSP, and it will ruin it. So, on with my little thing about sand erasers. We are going to use the Garden Red and Real Red. I told you it's early. Let me have some more tea. I'm drinking iced tea this morning because it is warm. Okay, it's Real Red and Garden Green combo ribbon pack. These are 3/4 inch. This is beautiful ribbon. I know I've gone through 2 packs of it already. So anyhow, I've already cut 2 pieces of ribbon, 20 inches long. Like I said, this is the same format as I did pretty much last time. We talked about last time using, if you have a hard time getting your ribbon through, grab your stylist from your thing and use it to poke through. Use something to poke it through. We talked about ribbon and making a handle. Seam binding rivet, I did try. I talked about weaving or hooking 3 pieces together to just give it some stability because it is quite flimsy. It does work. I still wouldn't use it. It's still too flimsy. That's my preference though. So if you want to do seam binding rivet, you should probably weave together at least and braid at least 3 to give it a little bit of stability. So, but use a sturdy ribbon. Something that's got some body to it. This has body to it. So anyhow, you're going to tie at the end. About 3 knots has been average. The pale papaya I used last time needed, the lighter weight ribbon needed 4. But this is usually 3. Just make a knot. And you don't have to do knots. You can make a handle that goes across this way. You could wrap ribbon around. You can make all kinds of, handles to go on these. No handles at all. Just tie a ribbon around it. Now, this gift I'm doing is not just from me. It's also from my mother. And she likes the ribbons tied in knots on the outside. So, and we all know what happens. Mama always gets what Mama wants. So we all know that one. Now, and I always accommodate her. She's not a spring chicken. Well, give you an idea. I worked for over 40 years and retired. So, give you an idea how old Mama is. Anyhow, we're just going to tie these cute little knots, and it doesn't take but a few minutes. So you guys should know she is my critiquer in this. And trust me, she's harsh. She doesn't like something, she tells me. Oop. If you get a little fraying, I'll show you what to do with that. So just finish tying that extra little knot there. Just grab my scissors, cut the fraying out, and give it a little trim. And I'm gonna make sure that all of them are nicely trimmed up. They're short, but that's what we wanted. So this is my wide bag I needed. So here's this bag, and I'm going to grab the other one I made. Because this is actually my second time I tried to film this video, because I got halfway through this bag and discovered, I didn't discover till after I was done making the bag, that my camera had stopped working. And this is the first one I made. So basically the same, just different paper out of the pack, which I like both of them. So anyhow, that being said, I hope you have a wonderful day, and I hope you're enjoying these videos. Please subscribe and like. If you want to see something special, let me know. If you want to learn how to do something, I would be happy to tell you and show you how to do that. Whatever that might be, if I know how. If I don't, I have a lot of friends in the crafting world for many years, and I bet you we'll come up with an answer, and we will let you know. I have had several people comment on different things they'd like to see already, and I am working on trying to get those designed and get those out later in September and early October. So with that being said, everybody have a wonderful day and have a wonderful weekend. It's Labor Day weekend. How about that? Goodbye. Have a nice weekend.